lot of people come from out of jail, so they need help too, so, what I'm thinking about is how, to be able to develop something for people to get out of jail. Because some of them, they're in India, for life or something, we gotta re-educate these people, bring it back home.
If you saw the program from Sacramento, they did have a component specifically for that. So I'll take a look at those because I'm always big at hey, I work for them, it's just good, it's just popular. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. So if we say, hey, we have a proportion of people who are out of jail, but they still need to get opportunities, they still need to get training, they still get, then let's put something around that. Like again, the state wants to kind of leverage whatever ideas people have.
Yes, my name is David, and I'm from Macau Campus. So, one of the things that I noticed there is that you're missing soil, like jobs working with compost and renewable materials, for example, right? Because it starts with the soil. We have all these things because we grow things. And it could be bioscience, but it's not really clear. It has to be very clear. Why? Because even though there is a mandate in Los Angeles County to compost, I'll tell you something, I'm still getting shut down from different parts in the city because waste management companies, because neighbors don't like it, because people are not really educated. And in my new place, I actually had to pay like over $1,000 for a permit just to have a compost pile. Even though that is already, it's mandated, you need to do this. And no one's getting paid like $1,000 just to have a compost pile in the backyard. So I believe that putting it out there more clear for people to choose to be like, oh yeah, maybe I can do compost, which is needed.
So I would recommend that for the CJF team who's here, if we can look to how we incorporate that into our plan and some of the other suggestions that were made.
Any last comments, questions? We got two. All right, we're going to take two, and then we're going to go to our panel.
Hi, my name is Twisha. I'm from Chica. My question is more so, I've seen several of these programs where we have these large sums of money that are geared towards our underserved community. So my question is, how do we establish a clear plan of accountability to ensure that funding actually reaches its target audience? For example, when we host another forum like this, talk about the results or the companies that actually were granted those fundings and what impact they actually had on our community.
I think it's a great point, and I think that maybe something again that we need to be looking at incorporating as we submit the applications, not just ask, here's how you use money, but how are you going to report this? What's your metrics you're going to use to determine if it's been successful or not?
Hi, my name is Kim Anthony. I'm with Urban Excellence, and I personally participated in the surveys, and so when I'm hearing the data, it doesn't sound like the answers that I was getting over and over again, because we focus obviously on spot 6. Is there data and or programs that are targeted to the needs of service provider area 6?
I'm going to ask you to make a point of emphasis that you made before about how the funding is allocated.
Yeah, the steering committee is going to be looking at how much they distributed that $9 million. So you can do a couple things. So let's talk about, we want to submit 50 programs up to the state for approval. But if you break this up, that's about $180,000 per program, and it's not that much money. You can say, hey, we want to do 5 programs where each one gets roughly $1 million or over $1.5 million. So they're looking at how do we fund that? How do we make sure that every region is covered so that all the money doesn't go to one part of the dollar as well? And so, I think some of the initial stuff in the programs that were submitted to the state say, hey, we want to distribute the money evenly for each spot throughout the region so that everybody gets a certain amount. But even then, some of that money still goes on, they might add up. Some are saying, hey, we want to limit any request to only $200,000. But that's what the steering committee is going to be looking at in the upcoming meetings and determining what is it we want to look at. The state, they ultimately can say, hey, you're going to fund up to, $100,000 per program, per region, so they are going to be the ultimate say on it, because anything we approve still needs to go to their for approval. But so that's something that's kind of still in here right now.
Thank you so much, Luigi. Amazing. Thank you for answering the questions.
Yes, I'd like to know, line item 6 was construction. My company is a certified minority-owned business, general contractor. Is there funding to finance and help us for bidding, like performance bonds? You can't bid on a city, state, federal contract unless you have performance bonds, yeah? $1 million performance bonds. Please, financial capital there. And if you're fortunate enough to get a bid, now you're going to need funding for startup costs, 25% startup costs, employees, taxes, insurance, and other materials and supplies. So, can a minority-owned business in construction apply for those funds or receive?
Yeah, well, again, ultimately it's going to determine what the state will come out with the final guidelines as to what the criteria is. But I would say, again, toss it on, yeah, they're looking at not just targeting one particular business, they want to target a region or a sector. But I think if you're saying, here's some of the challenges we face in minority-owned businesses where we can't even get opportunity to bid on it, then what can the state do to put together something on it? And I would say, write something up and say, here's what a way to do it. Is there a lot of money that they can dedicate that would allow people to use it to get to that space?
And see, the workplace readiness program is excellent for high school students because I participated in the workforce program and I had a job at Chevron in high school making $40 an hour. And my other buddies, male and female, working at McDonald's for $5 an hour.
And that's where you may want to be, where there's some of those employers who are high-paying opportunities, and how do we target them, get them to create programs with them, to create a pipeline of students coming from high school, students from community colleges, or institutions, to get them into those spaces. Oftentimes, that's going to be the biggest challenge. I think when you look at a lot of folks, specifically, the higher ed will get frustrated because they're like, yeah, I went to school for 4 years, I got a degree, now I can't get a job because they want someone with experience, but how am I supposed to get experience if I'm not learning? And you're like, well, that's where the idea is that you're supposed to be getting internships throughout your process, you're supposed to be doing that type of work. But again, unless you have those relationships, like, I wouldn't know where to go if I wanted to do all this. I want to do an internship at AT&T. I don't know who I call, I don't know. So, and I think to the extent that we're able to help build programs like that and say, we want to take a pipeline of students and get them plugged into those spaces. Because when we find that we argue that, about 30% of them end up staying on those jobs because you work with someone for a while, you know, a couple of weeks, you like them, maybe they're great. I don't have to question, I already know what your work ethic is. Then you keep going on. And sometimes it's just getting that connection, knowing what's out there. And so I would say to the extent that you have ideas of how that kind of program could be created, submit a request.
All right, I want to be sensitive to time because we have a panel that is about a half an hour behind schedule. So, Luis, you're going to be here during the meal period too? All right, so please, if you have other questions or comments for Luis, please come find him. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask my friends to come forward, please. Take your seat. I don't think I have a seat, but if you can come around and take a seat here, I'm going to do this standing up. Yeah.
Okay, not this one, not this one. Is Stella?
So
Yeah,
Stella,
Stella.
yes.
Charlotte?
Sasheen, yes.
Yes. Charlotte? Sasheen?
We could do away with those stands and just hand them the microphones. I think that's what we're going to do.
This is you. Yeah.
Okay, notice that the microphones in front of you, so if you move your seat, you're going to have to move the mic too.
And where's Ted? Okay.
It's supposed to be on
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's.
Let's give them.
Oh, actually, no, Sterlina's not in this session. Sterlina, you're in this session afterwards. The next one. No, you're in the next session? After dinner.
Okay, so one of the things that we wanted to make sure we did with this experience was to give you a chance to hear from some of your peers who are doing impactful work in the community already, so you get a sense of a few things. One, the problems they're trying to solve. Two, kind of what they're observing and how they're going about their initiatives. And three, hopefully we'll have a chance to talk a little bit about what they've observed and what they've learned, what they can impart to you. So first, before we get into all of that, I'm going to just ask each panelist to introduce themselves. And this time I'm going to start at the far end with Sasheen, and then come back this way with 10 seconds. Okay? Sasheen, please.
Hi there, my name is Sasheen Hardis, and I am a producer. I'm the founder of Plenty of Pie, which is a production accelerator and talent incubator located here in Spot City.
Hello everyone, I'm Ted Miller. I own an agency with my wife called Executive Edge, and we supply admin support and executive support to the studios and networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Stella Ursula, and I am one of two vice chairs for the California Jobs First Steering Committee, and I also serve as a Sustainability Affinity Hub lead. My day job, I work at Grid Alternatives, Greater Los Angeles, and we install solar for families that need help with their energy bills that want to, and folks that also want to enter the solar industry.
Good evening, I'm Shirley Nubio. I am an educator at LSD. I've been a part of this district and area for about 26 years. I currently work for the board here in LA Unified District 1, which is a part of the Slate Spot area, as an educational policy advisor.
Okay, so first, can you talk a little bit about the work that you've been doing and share with this group, I think we need to bring energy a little bit, any kind of point of success or point of emphasis to give people a little bit of hope? We'll start with this side this time.
So point of success, as mentioned, I know was asked me about within the school sites, are there opportunities for our students? There are opportunities within our schools through what is called career technical education. Career technical education is new, kind of folded back in. We know many of our vocations were taken out of our schools. Career technical education has been back in our schools to bring back those vocations that were removed with educators who not necessarily went into education as a first choice. They came in with the experience from their craft to be able to bring that to our students. And so our students are getting opportunities from those educators who this is second choice for them as far as education. So we do have hope in that. And then also partnering with our community colleges to see apprenticeship programs where our students can get skill sets while they are in high school, and it's free. And I think that's the part that's missing, is that there's a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of programs available, but we don't know about it. And so that's why this is so important and critical, is to be able to get the word out that there are opportunities afforded to our students now from 9th grade through 12th grade that they can be certified when they're finished with high school.
So I'm gonna, before we move on to Stella, because she got some great stuff to talk about as well, can you just unpack a little bit of that? Because we had a comment earlier about how our education system isn't providing those opportunities, and I would love for you to lay out a few more specifics about what students will have access to going forward.
So specific even to this community here. So and I'm a proud product of LAUSD down the street, Dorsey High School. All right, green and white. And I say that because at Dorsey we have a hospitality program. There's educators there that are teaching our students how to do what we're seeing happen right behind us, cater to events like such. Those students are getting opportunities to go off to college to hone in on that craft from educators who are doing it right now. Those students are working in the field today, before they graduate high school. Another opportunity, and again, I'm gonna stay on Dorsey because it's within this community. We're going to be partnering with a new bakery there. They're going to build out a bakery so that those students are getting trained to become bakers, to work in areas like Costco. It's not happening everywhere. This is happening in this community. And again, many don't know about it. We know Dorsey has a reputation for athletics. We understand it, but there's other things happening within this community. Down the street at Audubon, we have a charter, and we know charter has done some things to our community public schools because they're trying to share the $70 that they should be trying to share and make their programs complete. And so we'll go into a whole charter conversation. But charter was providing innovation. And if it's not providing innovation, then it's not doing what it's supposed to do. And so there is one music arts on Audubon's campus, which is Ivan. That program there is preparing kids to be able to go into music engineering, doing it right now. So there are programs that exist. Again, it's getting the word out there. How do I get a part? How to become a part of it? How do I get my certification? At Dorsey, same thing. They got a sports medicine program. When kids leave there, they're already CPR certified. They're able to take ankles. They're able to service on, athletic programs. So they go into college or certification program already skill set with certification in hand. So that's some examples of what's happening locally. And then I can expand out if people are out. There's teacher programs where kids are learning how to become child providers in high school today. So there are opportunities out there.
Thank you for sharing that. It's wonderful. Let's go.
Great example, great stories. Thank you for that question, Jay. And so some things that we're really excited about is the fact that we're going to be doing even more solar. We're going to be installing solar for families that need help with their energy bills. We've already served about 3,000 families across LA County. We're getting more money to do more work. We're going to be installing battery storage systems now. Right? We're also working on the cleanability side, on charging stations, trying to connect folks to electric vehicles. All of those things are jobs. And I'm telling you, there's not enough folks out there that know about these jobs. We have been looking for folks for the past 6 months, 9 months, and it is really, it's like pulling teeth.
What if I need training?
Let's say it again.
What if I need training?
We're going to provide you that training. I'm telling you, we got a 13-week program to start out with, right? And we work with folks that have been chronically incarcerated, women that are down on their luck, that are trying to get their lives back together for one reason or another. Youth, opportunity youth, folks that are looking to get into green industries. And so we've got the training, and we've got lots of partners that we're working with to connect you to other opportunities as well, employment opportunities. So we're really excited about that. We've already trained about 4,000 individuals across California. We're in Colorado, DC. We're even opening up some work, starting some work in Puerto Rico. We just trained a cohort of women to install solar over in Puerto Rico. So that's huge right there.
So I just want to double click on this and make sure that the point is made. Because you provide the training, every time there is a new application for solar, right? Whether it's external long-term storage, like the batteries and stuff like that, generators, different kinds of solar panels, etc. That's another opportunity to provide a skill set and provide people with jobs, correct?
Absolutely.
Right, so as we move into this green economy, you are one of the conduits that's actually allowing people to get plugged in.
Absolutely. We're working very closely with workforce development organizations, with community colleges, with other nonprofit organizations to connect folks to this training and to careers in these particular industries. So it's a lot of work, heavy lifting, but we're out there, we're trying to make it happen. We have good partners out in the audience there. I see Linda and Jackie
Jackie and Commissioner Dejo, folks that we're already working with. So, if you're interested, please contact us. We'll work together on this.
Okay, and I also want to get into other kinds of experiential learning and to drill down a little bit more on film and TV and entertainment because, again, as Armand pointed out earlier, that's one of the key industries here in LA, and sometimes it feels like folks in the community don't get put on, right? Like if you don't know Issa personally, you're not getting in. So let's talk about how that happens, because we have Ted here, who we talk about successes, he can also look to his left, we'll get to that in a minute. But Ted here has been working in this space, trying to help people find opportunities in this space for a long time. So can you talk about what you do and some of the successes that you have?
A little over 36 years ago, I used to play professional baseball, so I was in the minor leagues for several different teams, and most of my career in the minor leagues. So when I stopped playing, my wife was working at NBC, and she said, if I create two of myself, we could start a business. So we created an employment agency, and our first account was NBC. And then we just grew it over the years. And so some of the success stories, there's a woman that we placed at Oprah Winfrey as an assistant. She's now an associate producer. So over Sunday Best, she's at her house every time they're doing that show with Oprah on the weekend. And she's making really good money. Another woman was over at ABC and over BET. Now she's an EVP of Legal Business Affairs at Skydance Media. There's a young girl that we placed at KCAL. Those two women are African American. There's a young white girl that we placed at KCAL probably about 15 years ago, just in a data entry job. And now when you turn on KCAL, Erica Olson is the face of KCAL. And so there's multiple people that we look at. There's a Latino girl that came to us probably about 6 years ago. And each assignment that we placed her on, many assignments, few at ABC, a couple at Disney, a couple of other studios, we started getting negative complaints. And then when we would call her for employment, she would answer the phone, like, how can I help you? And so my staff told me that. I said, next time she comes in, let me talk to her. So I sat her down and I talked to her. I said, listen, we've got a couple of complaints from a couple of clients, and you're making it hard for me to send you out. I said, and then when we call you, you got, like, you're doing us a favor. You do know you work for me, right? And so she says, yeah, Ted, I said, listen, this is how it's perceived. It comes off cocky, and it comes off arrogant, and it comes off ungrateful. And I said, I need the Laura that came in here 4 months ago. Where is that girl? That's the one that I want to hear. And so she breaks down and starts crying and says, my parents tell me that all the time. I promise I'll do better. And so I said, listen, don't close the door for me because then I can't help you. Probably about 8 months later, she called me and told me that they hired her and promoted her, and now she's a manager of development over at ABC. So, I think the biggest thing for people right now is really understanding that there is hope. And, there's a lot of different ways to get into the place of your dream. I don't have all the keys, I know some of the keys, but there's multiple ways that you can do it. And so, I'm always encouraging people, and I see it happen, but some of the things that are just necessary are just paying attention, loving people, being kind, being grateful. People hire people that they like, not people that you may think you deserve the job, but if they don't think you're qualified, then you can't get angry with them, you gotta go get qualified. Or what do I need to do to get qualified? And so, I see people's dreams come true. Some of the people that I mentioned and many others that I haven't mentioned, they're making $300,000, $200,000, $150,000 in bonuses. So, it is possible. I know I was a family of 8. We were on welfare. We came up from nothing. My mother died when I was young. 2 years later, my brother died. And my grandmother who we lived with passed after that. So statistics says that I shouldn't even be here and have success. Many of the guys I grew up with, that I played ball with when I was younger, are either dead or in prison. And it's just by the grace of God that I was put in a place where I can succeed. But what I've seen in interviewing thousands and thousands of people is most people don't really believe who they are. What's really in them because of the current situation that they're in. So I'm always trying to raise people's level of belief that you really can. We need some help along the way. But I've seen people's dreams get manifested. I've seen their lives change. So, most of us up here are not just up here to encourage you and then you go home for the day. I never like people getting up and and just motivating you, and then they bounce. They tell you how beautiful Hawaii is, but they never tell you how to get to Hawaii. You know, so you know, I'm all about, okay, if you have a vision, you have a dream, how are we going to bring that to pass? So my wife's a dreamer, and she created this organization. I'm not going to talk too much, but she created an organization called EICOP, Entertainment Industry College Outreach Program. She also created Executive Tims, but I ran it. So she created this organization, and under that umbrella of that organization is HBCUs in LA. So we go to HBCUs and we bring those kids here to intern within the industry. 90% of those students, for the past 10 years that we've been doing this, are now working full-time within the industry, the seniors. So, but when they come here, you know, they're nervous, they're concerned about how do I navigate the space, but I see people's lives change just by being in the atmosphere and kind of learning. And I remember when it was a thought in my wife's head. I remember when she was calling, together we were calling HBCUs, and we couldn't get any of them even to respond to us, not even call us back. Now when she calls president of HBCUs, meet and greet us. We have a partnership with the White House team under the Obama administration. Every year they're wanting her to present from a dream, from a thought. So how important are our thoughts? You know, and so the challenge is the enemy's always trying to destroy you from thinking and from dreaming, but your thoughts are powerful. We just need to put some legs to it and some faith to it, and then get it moving.
I am not going to top that. And particularly because I was one of those people that came into Ted's office over 29 years ago looking for an opportunity, and he gave me one. And he, you know, I literally just, you know, graduated college and said, oh, I'm going to come to LA and I'm going to get a job, and I couldn't. And it came, I ended up, you know, coming to him, you know, by God, by faith, and he gave me a shot, and he placed me in Paramount Pictures. And literally, like the first 3 months, all I did was stamp purchase orders. That was it. That's all I did. But 3 months later, a woman walked by my desk. I had been greeting her, you know, and saying good morning, you know, good evening, every day. And she walked by my desk and said, Sasheen, I'm leaving the company. Do you want my job?
Wow.
I don't know what to do, but I will take your job. And so I ended up, she was the assistant to the vice president of creative services and home video, and that's where I ended up. And I was there for about 4 years. Left there, went back to TED, and he placed me again, still in Viacom, and I worked in television. And that was where my home was. That is where I realized this is where I want to be. And so today I'm a producer. A couple of days ago I won my 3rd Emmy. And my experience is, you know, I'm a only child of a single parent, grew up on welfare. I'm from Harlem, I'm from New York. But I came here with a dream. I came here with the idea and the expectation that I was going to do something. And it takes tenacity, and it takes learning and listening. And so I founded an organization called Plenty of Pie, which is a production accelerator and a talent incubator that helps emerging creatives, folks that, you know they want to be a writer, know that they want to be a director, but, you know, they don't know the business of the industry. And my responsibility is to show them and to help them navigate that. And we go for 12 weeks. We do it via Zoom. It's virtual, so, you know, people can do it from Atlanta, New Orleans, Kansas City, anywhere in the world, as long as they understand we're in the Pacific time zone, and learn about the business of the industry. Because you see how things are made. You see how things are made. You like the lights, the glam, but it's really about the business and understanding the legal, the accounting, the risk management, and the process to get projects greenlit. People need to know how to do that, because the only time you will see different things on your television screen, on the theatrical world, is when we are there making those decisions. And we have only way we can do that is if we know and get into the industry now and learn how to do it. So that's what I do.
Okay, so I'm going to ask my first question that's a little bit tougher. So, you've heard a lot of comments today and questions around access. And I think access is just one of the speed bumps that we run into when we try to invest in our communities, elevate people in our communities, and provide opportunities, right? Can you each talk a little bit about the speed bumps that you experienced today, how you think about them, and how you address it?
Wow, there's a lot of speed bumps, right? There's a lot of speed bumps.
Take your time, one or two.
It's like, slow down. No. And I think one was mentioned just about being a parent, right? Being a parent becomes a speed bump for many of our students, because in education K through 12, that's a speed bump because of you having to work or, looking for work, putting your child within school. You don't have access to investigate or advocate at that school site. And again, it comes back around to understanding what your role is. And I'm always telling folks, it takes a village, right? It takes a village to be able to do anything that we want to do with our children. And you have to be able to connect with other families, to be able to make sure that you're, available to get the access and information that you need from those school sites. And so I think, and that's just part of life, right? You're being a parent, having a child, and often you're on an island, and you feel like I gotta do this by myself. But I think that's something that's a speed bump for us, is making sure that we connect families together within our school sites and letting them know that schools are a safe space. And that's not always the case, because you come with your own trauma and baggage that you may come about school, because some folks are like, I don't like school. When I went to school, it was this, that, and the third. So I ain't going back into that school. You go to that school, I'm not going to that school. So we come with issues of that sort where it becomes a speed bump for us to get the information to our families, that our students can access what we have to provide for them. So I think that's one of the major ones for us as educators, as those that are making policy for our students to be successful. And so how do we untwine that? How do we, it's gonna take a village, it's gonna take minds like this to come together to be able to provide those resources to help our families connect.
Thank you, Jay. The speed bump is, do you remember on the slides that 40% of our population here in California is not familiar with the goals for California for sustainability, for climate change, etc., right? That's a big speed bump right there. On July 22nd, the world experienced the hottest day on record, right? But they say that every year. Every year. Last year, it was the hottest day ever. The year before, hottest day ever, right? So this is what we can expect. Hotter days, 100 plus degree days, right? How many of you have ever heard of a resilience center? Yes, thank you. So we need to get that out there, right? Resilience centers are places where folks that don't have